for a second. So it's all about getting tools in your toolbox in order to overcome all these stressors and not get paralyzed or like by the stress or the overwhelm, or to also maybe eat your emotions away, which also paralyzes us in a different way. We can all learn to better cope with this stress, and in a way that supports our physical and our mental health on the long term, right? Because health is not about doing something one day. It's something that we need to look after for our entire life. We want to live as long as possible. So this workshop is really interactive. It's like a self-exploration. I want you to go into it as this is a mini journey we're going on together for a week. This is part 1. There'll be part 2 and 3 in the calls next Tuesday and next Thursday, same time, same place, same Zoom. And it's a time that you're dedicating to yourself to invest in your well-being and in your business, because this is like, you are your business. So I want to start with asking you to just close your eyes. We're going to do just a tiny visualization, because it's important you can relax in your chair. That when we go on a journey, it's important to have a point where we want to arrive, right? An end destination. So let's take a deep breath in and out. Just let it all out, make a sigh, right? Notice just how just one breath can make a difference already in the way you're currently feeling. So I want you to imagine yourself in the morning when you are laying down in your bed. You still have your eyes closed and your alarm just went off and you're waking up. You are slowly opening your eyes, keep them closed right now, but like imagine yourself opening your eyes and feeling calm, feeling recharged, feeling excited about what's to come today, about the things that you're going to be getting to do within your business. So excited that actually you want to get out of bed, like you don't want to be laying down and just continuing because you've had enough sleep. So you see yourself going up and doing your morning routine, like whatever that ideal morning routine looks like for you. That's maybe moving your body, having a nice cup of tea or coffee, eating a nourishing breakfast, and then taking on this energy of being still relaxed and happy and calm into your day, into your work, into your business. How is this affecting the way that you show up in your business to your clients, to the energy that you put into the creation of maybe new products or new services? And going through the day where you feel accomplished by the end of the day, where you've done the things that you set out yourself to do because you set those reasonable goals and you felt really good by just ticking them off on your to-do list, and feeling really accomplished by the end of the day. The day ends and you have time to do other things and work. You have time to indulge in whatever activities are nourishing you, whether that's maybe going to a pottery class or maybe meeting a friend or just going put your feet in the ocean, wherever you are, whatever are the things that are the activities that are really nourishing you. And slowly going into bed and feeling like really, that sense of tiredness, but like it's a good feeling of being tired. It's not exhaustion. It's just like, oh, I've done a lot of things today. I'm proud of myself and I've made the time for me, and I've made the time as well for my business, and everything seemed to flow for me today. So take another deep breath. And exhale, let it all out. So you can open your eyes again, come back. So I wanted to take you through this because it's important to remember, and those feelings, right? We can tap into them at any moment. That's like the power of those feelings. And then it's about finding a way to get there on an ongoing basis, and to creating that reality. And I believe that everyone on this planet, and that includes all of you, have a purpose to fulfill. And my mission is to support you and support your purpose, by empowering you with the knowledge on how to take care of yourself, so that you can take care of your business and grow it and have the impact on other people's life. And I love this quote that is like, to the level to which you grow personally is the level to which your business will grow, right? It's directly linked. If you crumble, like I'm sure you have felt like, and just sick, right? When you're sick, you're crumbling, your business is going to crumble with you. Like you're carrying your business as a backpack, and like the backpack, it doesn't have a life of its own yet, then it's going to go with you, down or up with you. It's just going to go wherever you are. So for those who don't know me, I'm Ines, and I'm a plant-based and intuitive eating coach for self-employed women specifically. And my mission is really to empower you, like I said, with the knowledge, but more so, not just to teach you, but empower you with the knowledge on how to do things, but also how to create action and like put these things into actionable things that you can do and have the change in your life. That all started for me like many years ago, when I was personally struggling for over 10 years with dieting, with low self-esteem, not loving what I was seeing in the mirror. I was covered in eczema all over my body, with like a body rash, some inflammation. And at the time, I was wondering, like, why could I do all these things, but like achieve all these different things, but when it comes to my health, like I just felt stuck, and I didn't know how to take care of myself, even though I did know a lot about it. I was not actually doing it. And there is so much more than knowledge that goes into it. And when I learned about the power of eating more plant-based to heal my body, and also the power of intuitive eating, that helped me release the stress that I had around food, the anxiety that I had around food, my relationship with myself and my body, and what I was like capable of, thinking what I was capable of or not. That has completely transformed my life. And I thought that I wanted to share that. And I found my purpose in that, and that I wanted to enable women to stop being in their own way and stop struggling with low self-esteem, with different ways that we self-sabotage ourselves when it comes to eating foods that are not necessarily serving us. And when I became an entrepreneur, I saw that there was new struggle coming at me all of a sudden. And it's from the struggle of like personally going through also burnout that I gathered some lesson. I have applied it to me. I have applied them to over 100 clients now, and I have helped all these amazing women who have kindly trusted me to support them into going through a journey of learning to prioritize yourself. Because intuitive eating is not just about eating. It goes way beyond that. It's about meeting your physical and emotional needs with specific tools. So what's really unique from my approach is because I am combining all those different skills that I have learned along the way, from like the intuitive eating, plant-based, and also the habit science, to create something that is sustainable and enjoyable to go through. Not like, you know, a diet where you're like, fuck, like I just want to end my life right now, it's just too hard, I quit. So my mission is really to make it fun and exciting for you. So I have shared in the email and in the chat, there is an opportunity for you to get into action here in this workshop. And in a few minutes, we will get into action. I will get you to journal. And this is for you to create that change in your life, because I don't believe that just sitting here and listening to me is going to create meaningful change in your life. It's going to maybe create a little bit of change, but it's not going to be enough. And I don't want that for you. I want massive transformation. So for that, it requires for you to take action. And I want to reward the people who are taking that action. And I want to also make it more exciting for you to get into action, make it more juicy. So I am going to be offering a scholarship into my program Nourishing Circle, a 3-month scholarship. And how to participate is going to be very simple. All you have to do is to participate in the live, or if you can't make it live, that's okay. You can watch the replay and going through the prompts that I'm going to be sharing with you, and then sharing your biggest takeaway after each live in the Instagram group chat. So that's why if you are not in the group chat yet, just send me a message, an email, letting me know what your Instagram handle is so that I can add you. So just sharing your honest, like, aha moment or biggest takeaway from each live that will enter you into a pool, and at the end someone will be drawn at random to win an opportunity to get into Nourishing Circle. So know that the replay will be available always after the call. So now when we think about right, like building a business and taking care of yourself, like it seems like mission impossible, right? Like I'm sure you've all like we've shared at the beginning, is like entrepreneurship is like the exact opposite of work-life balance. Like it's just like going from maybe working 7 hours a day to working 24/7, and that like is like the unglamorous side that we're not sold to when we're going into a passion project and wanting to create a business. So, but it's the harsh reality. And I want you to start taking your journal. And the first question is like, when thinking of taking care of yourself while building your business, what comes to you? What are like the first thoughts, the first belief that you have around that? Like, what is the sentence that you're telling yourself? Like, it's hard, it's impossible, I've tried in the past, but like nothing seems to work. Whatever comes, just write it down. Doesn't have to be very elaborate, just like whatever comes up. Then I invite you, like for all these questions, if you feel like you need more time to, after the workshop, this call is over, go back to it and just explore a bit more. And sometimes what happens is that like when we feel like we're not like maybe cooking all of our food, meditating, going to yoga, sleeping 8 hours a night, we feel like we're a failure. I'm saying we because like that's me, like that was me. That's how I felt, and I know that I'm not alone in here. Raise your hand if you feel like that. Like if you're not doing your ideal routine, like it's like, why even bother? Yeah, okay. So that's why we're doing this as a group, to acknowledge that we are not like alone in this. It's not, your brain is not like having a default or anything. This is a common experience. And this is more that has to do with the black or white thinking, right? Like the perfectionist inside of us, and that kicks in and that says like, I'm just not good enough. Like I should be doing this, all the shoulds that are coming, right? And we want to be able to do all of the things all of the time. And we want to have immediate like gratification. That's just like part of being human. We all like seek pleasure, and instant gratification is always going to feel good. And the thing is that in the industry of like a health industry, there is just so much information that is telling you and like lying to you, like I'm always going to be open and transparent with that, and I got caught up in it too, to believe that we can achieve like drastic result in a very short amount of time. But that's not true, because that's not sustainable. Yes, you can do it, but like, how long are you gonna continue doing that? When we think of diets, like you can maybe sustain it for like 2 weeks, and then after that we're like, okay, fuck it, like I'm just gonna go back to eating whatever I want all the time. And then the thing is that it's just overwhelming. Like too much change at once is overwhelming. The brain doesn't like it. If I'm asking you tomorrow to start doing all the things that you wish you could do, like your ideal routine starting tomorrow, like what is the first sensation that is going to come into your body? Probably a rush of stress. And the thing is that like in my personal story, I was like always trying to learn so much input, like information coming in, but I was never actually implementing all of these things. And I was in that cycle of like setting a healthy intention. Next Monday, always a Monday, right? Nobody starts a Thursday. So I would start on Monday. I would try my best, rely on my willpower, and then maybe fall off the wagon if I was lucky 2 weeks. Otherwise, like 2 or 3 days later, I was gone. And the thing that comes with it is that cycle of feeling guilty, of feeling disappointed in myself, and asking myself constantly, like, why can't I like stick with it? Like, why can't I achieve it? Why I see people can do it on Instagram, like, why can't I do it myself? Is there something wrong about me? And that created a lot of frustration. And after a point, I realized that, you know, the quote from Einstein saying like, it's like expecting a different result from doing the same thing is like the definition of insanity. And I realized that I was in that cycle. Like I was maybe trying different techniques, but it was always asking of myself too much of a change, a drastic change in my life. And so I realized that I was actually at the beginning of my practice asking the same of my clients. I was asking them to do so many different changes in their health, in their behaviors, that they would do it when they were accompanied by me, they were accountable to me, but then when they were on their own, they would go back to their old habits, which were not serving them. And I was like, that really bothered me more than what was happening in my life. And that's when I got even more curious. And I decided to experiment. And so this is like a concept we're going to go with during this workshop, and the identity that comes with it. Because when we become an explorer, that's how I call always my clients in Nourishing Circle, we are letting go of the perfectionism. We are being curious. And the thing is that when we're an explorer, we are not attaching the result to ourselves and our self-worth, right? Like when we're perfectionist, we think I'm not good enough. When we're an explorer, we say like what worked, what didn't work, what's the lesson here, what's the biggest takeaway. And the thing is that the brain cannot feel two different things at once. So you can't be judgmental and curious at the same time. So I'm going to ask you to become a curious explorer during this journey together. And I want everyone to give me a pinky swear here. Just show me a little pinky, even if you're not on camera, just raise it. And you can say, I swear that I'm promising that I'm going to be a curious explorer for this experiment and journey that we're going through together. And when we're experimenting, especially at the weekly level, like we're doing this over a week now, and we set just an intention for a week, it's so much more achievable, right? It sounds more easy, and like we're starting to relax instead of thinking I need to meditate, I need to eat healthy, I need to work out, I need to do all this. And you're just setting yourself one thing that you want to focus on that week. And the thing is that when we do that, when we improve ourselves by just 1% every single day, or even over a week, at the end of the year, we end up being 37% better. And we don't have like the crash of like the burnout and all these things, because it's just so small. I want you to be underwhelmed, like by how small of the change I want you to ask yourself to do and to take. Whenever this can work for your health, but it can work for your business as well. So this is a new identity I want you to go into. So any change has like, for me, 3-step process. The first is one to notice, right? To bring awareness, because if we're not aware of a problem, we are not going to be able to change it much. And then the second one is to explore, and explore with curiosity, being an explorer. And then the third step to change is acting, right? Taking the action to start creating that tangible change in your life. So I'm going to ask you again to journal just for 30 seconds to 1 minute. I want to ask you to think of, like, when you're building a business that energizes you, what do you do in that ideal day, right? Like through the meditation, visualization that we did before, and like do in three parts. First, like with your basic needs, right? So when you look at a day in the life that energizes you and that energizes your business, what are you doing at the basic needs levels, like food, sleep, movement? What are you doing? What, how much, how long? Food, sleep, and movement. What sounds good to you right now? I might change, and we're okay with this. It's just exercise. And then in terms of like work, what are the activities that energizes you within your work, right? In, like, if you had like a magic one, like, we're dreaming here. So don't try to tame it and make it realistic. Just like shoot for the stars.
What was that one again? Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, so the question is, like, when building a business that energizes you, what is like your ideal day composed of? And so first, looking at your basic needs: food, sleep, and movement. So what do you eat? How much sleep do you get, or how much rest? Like, do you get a break in the afternoon, whatever? And movement. And then the second part is like around your business and what energizes you within your business. What are the activities in your business that you feel like are giving you energy, not draining you of energy? And the third part is anything else that energizes you in your life. And this is a big question, so I will invite you to continue like journaling on this on your own. So activities that you can do outside that like are nourishing your brain, like your mental health, like you need to maybe see friends or like engage in an activity that you're passionate about, like dancing, whatever it is. This is just to get the flow going, but I don't expect you to figure it all out today. Okay. And I will be mindful of the time as well. All right, and so now when you look at your day, what a day in your life right now, today, looked like, you can probably see a gap, right? Like you're maybe getting a certain percentage of your ideal day right now in your life. Maybe it's low, like maybe it's high. I would assume, like, if we're all here today, it's like, it's not quite there. It's not like in the 80% or 100%. And that's okay. I want you to not start to be mad at yourself for like seeing that gap. It's just like to just look, this is just like the map to where we want to go. And again, being curious, not judgmental. So we're going to be curious and explore that. Now, when we look at just our basic needs, right? And we think of food, sleep, movement. What is like really preventing you from doing these things? What are like the things that you're telling yourself? Like this can be like physical thing, can be like mentally, like whatever it is. Like, for example, for rest, maybe if you think of rest and you immediately start worrying about not being productive enough or letting down clients, like just write that down. If cooking, you're thinking like it's taking too much time out of my day, like I don't have the time to cook, or I'm too exhausted, like just write that down as well. Same for movement. Sharon, I know you have your hand up. I think it was during the pinky swear, but if you have a question, let me know.
Sorry, I didn't realize it stayed up.
No worries. It says like it's something we need to like remove. No worries. If anyone wants to share in the chat, like what came up to you, this is a safe space to share. I think there is a lot of value in sharing and like acknowledging that this is something, it's a common experience again. So like I said, like for most of us, the number one priority is really to grow a business, to grow impact. And we believe that in order to do that, we need to dedicate our full attention, or full time, energy, money into that. And that like maybe like meeting our basic needs is like feeling like another to-do item, or like a chore even in our life. And for those who follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen it, but like this is like a little card that I found. It's actually a salt thingy. And this is my yoga block, but let's assume this is a trailer, right? And so the trailer is behind the car. And right now we're trying to pull this trailer. This is our body and this is your business. We're trying to pull it and move it forward. But the thing is that without that car, the body is not going to without the car, sorry, the business is not going to go very far, right? If you don't put the right fuel, like the right food into your body, if you don't let it rest, like if you just drive constantly without ever resting, it's not going to work well. If you never move that car, it's going to get rusty. Like same with your body. Your body needs nourishment in terms of movement. So it's really important to focus on this little car that is your body in order to move all this gigantic block. I want it to be like 10 times higher, because that's how much our business represents, right? And we're just a tiny little human. So like acknowledge like how productive are you when you are tired, right? When you didn't get enough sleep, maybe because you had a late client call and like an early client call, or because you were preparing orders all night long. Like how is that impacting yourself and like how you show up in your business? How productive are you when you feel stressed, completely consumed by overwhelm? Like how maybe you feel when you manage that stress with food and eat an entire box of cookie. Like I know for a fact that's what I used to do all the time, and I was lethargic. Like I was like actually forcing myself to take a break because I was like literally not capable of like working or anything. I just had to sleep after it. Or like how productive are you when you skip a meal and because you're just so into the work that you forgot to eat? And like what state are you creating, right? When you're hangry, like probably you're not coming up like as like chill and like as patient as you would like to be with your clients or with any collabs and stuff like that. And also like how do you show up on social media? Like when you're not feeling confident in your body, maybe you're not going to be posting like those videos or maybe showing up as consistently as you'd like to. So it's important to acknowledge that the way that we take care of ourselves directly impacts our business. And sometimes we don't even realize to which extent that happens. And like those questions here is for you to deeply acknowledge that. And I will invite you to like really journal on those questions that I shared. Like for the purpose right now with time, like we'll have to move through. But that's why I've also created the workshop times like several days, and having like several days for you in between to keep marinating on all this. Like just like when you want to make good tofu, like you need to let it marinate for a little while. So we're marinating all these ideas. Right? Because at the end of the day, we are our business. Like we're morphing. Like it's like the car is the trailer, like your minivan. Like you morph the two together. And the mistake that I have made, and that I see a lot of people make, is that, you know, in looking for that equation of like what does it take for me to like create a successful business that impacts people, but also like paying me. It's like, yeah, I need business strategy, I need money, I need support, I need a network, I need an expertise, and I need consistency. But all that, like, if is like just lacking one other piece that nobody's like talking about in the business world, and that is you. Like you are the person, the thing that is going to drive all these different pieces of the equation of success. And that means that you're also the bottleneck of your own business growth. When what you think you can or you cannot do, right, is the reality that you're going to create. If you're overwhelmed and that you think it's just impossible for you to just even get through the day or get through the to-do list, like how is that like even enabling you to grow the business? It's just, we can't grow from that place, right? And it's normal to be obsessed about figuring out all the pieces of this enormous puzzle that nobody gave us instruction for when we started, because there is no manual of instruction, because we're creating it as we go. That we happen to forget us in that process, and that thinking, we're thinking like constantly, what does the business need in order to grow? What does it need? But like instead we should be starting to ask like, what do I need, right, as part of our business strategy? And so maybe next time you ask yourself like, what do I need to do for my business to take off, to grow to that next level? Just like ask yourself as well, like, what do I need and who do I need to be in order to get there? And I had this huge epiphany 5 years ago when I was traveling, and I met this woman, and she asked me a very powerful question that I was not like ready to to confront. But I'm so glad that she did. And I hope that by sharing that with you today, you have that mini epiphany as well. And it's that if you had a boss right now, that you were working for someone, and that was treating you like you're treating yourself within your business, how would you react like to this boss? Like, would you like just be okay with it and just accept the 12-hour days, no break for lunch, no vacation, like all these things? Like crazy, right? We're like, fuck that, never, I would never work for that person. And I was like, oh my fucking God, I am like literally the worst boss I've ever met in my entire life. I just cannot believe this shit. So I want you to journal for like just 30 seconds. Like, what are like, start listing, what are like the things that are the inconceivable things that you would have never let anyone ask you to do if they were your boss, but that you're letting yourself do or behave like in that way within your business. And you can include also like the talk going on, like about, you know, the things that you're telling yourself, like, you're not good enough, like this is shit or whatever, like all these like self-talk. Like imagine this is someone telling you these things. Put them on the list if they are not acceptable. And I'm sure the list can be very long. Mine like took several pages. So again, we're not like blaming ourselves here. We're just being curious. We're in the part of noticing, first part to change, and being curious and exploring with curiosity. So why do we do that in the first place? Like, why are we going from a work environment 7 hours a day, one job, one title, to working 24/7 and having 10 to 15 jobs, right? Like, if this is like the one job you had before in your corporate past life, then like right now it's like if you see this, like this is your job, you can juggle it. Like, yeah, you can balance like doing this and maybe talking to someone at the same time. Like, yeah, right, I can do life and I can do work at the same time. You start bringing on the second one, like maybe that's the beginning of your business and you're starting to do like a thing, like this is your work, and on top of it you create a business, and then in that business you start like doing another task. Like I was part of a circus, so that's why I can juggle. Okay, right, 3, but like 3 is already, it took me a long time to practice that, to get there, and then to do other kind of tricks. But like right now, if I'm asking myself to like juggle freaking 15 different roles within a business, which we're all doing, like this, I just created a mess. But this is just for you to visualize it. It's just fucking hard. Like, we are crazy people for going into this entrepreneurship like journey and expecting ourselves to juggle like 15 different things at the same time, having 15 different roles. And on top of that, we live in a culture where it's like hustle culture is put on a pedestal, and we reward the people who are like working. We're like, yes, congrats. Like, oh, that's amazing. You're such a hard worker. Like, that's like, I wish I could be as hard of as good as a hard worker as you. But like when you think of like rest, like nobody's like, yay, cheering you on. Like, you took a nap during this afternoon. Like, yes, you are fucking amazing. Like, nobody's telling you that. And that's like just the culture that we live in. And we need to acknowledge that our environment plays a big role as to how we behave and how we act within our business as well. And the thing is that this culture of hustle and also of just being an entrepreneur, the essence of being an entrepreneur and juggling like 15 different things it is toxic. It is literally toxic to our body. Like, it is creating this ease, is like the opposite of ease in our body, because our body is not made to do so many things at once. And not even saying like including the like life and family and maybe kids and like parents to take care of, like just being a normal human on top of doing all these things. So no wonder the rate of like burnout is like increasing. And like there's been like a recent like small business survey that a result conducted by like major Capital One, and they said that 42% of business owners have reported recently experiencing burnout. Like, raise your hand if you have experienced burnout within your business ever since you created it. Like myself, I have. Yeah. So see, like everyone, literally everyone here. And they also noticed that more than half, so 52% of people, like business owners, have not taken a vacation in the past year. Have you taken a vacation in the last 12 months? Like an official one, like not one where you say like yes, but no, like an official one, no work. Who has taken a break? Raise your hand if you have. No, really? No. The hands are like not sure. Oh yes, sure, like congrats. There's also like 45% of business owners report that running a business during the pandemic. So yes, on top of all this shit, we're spraying some pandemic on top of it. Like, we're spraying a good, nice layer of pandemic on it that is never ending. And I've reported that during the pandemic, it has had like a negative impact on their mental well-being. Like, I think we can all raise our heads, like just as a human being living through that, but on top of it being a business owner, like raise your hand if like the pandemic has affected the way also you show up in your business. Yeah. And like Bree said it, like no one started here. Like I can 100% like assume this, that no one started here a business to go into burnout. Like yet, so many of us end up there. And I want to help you start shifting the way you're thinking. Like while we're going through all this, is for you to start acknowledging and also changing the myth that we will take care of ourselves once the business reach a certain level of revenue, of freedom of time, because you have maybe other employees at some time, or like insert just any excuse that you currently put in your life. And it would be interesting for you to journal about like, what are these excuses that you're telling yourself that why you can't like create more time for you and meeting your basic needs at least. And who knows the book like Profit First? You don't like not need to read it. It's like a book that says that in business we don't need to we should not wait until like we have a big enough business to start taking profit, but that instead we should start taking it now. And like the first time you get money in, you allocate a certain percentage to that profit, because with the Parkinson's law, is like it means that when you do with what you have, right? When you have that tube of like toothpaste and you know there is the end, and like you don't have another one, like you need to go to the shop, you're just fucking like getting the shit out of it. Like you do with what you have. So that's the concept of the book. And I want you to start introducing a new concept in your business, and it is me first. Right? When you put yourself first, it means that you're pouring in your own cup first, because when you pour in your own cup and it's full, it starts to overflow. And that's when we are in a state of like being expansive. We have the ideas, the creative ideas. We see the opportunities that maybe we're not seeing before, and we can give to others, and we can give to others like people, but also we can give to something else, to our business, and give it in a way that is going to be enabling us to grow the business way faster, and in a way that is going to feel like aligned and peaceful. So noticing that if this is something that you've been like telling yourself, and that you've been telling yourself that you can't like take care of yourself right now, I don't have the time, right? I want you to change to I don't make the time, because that's more realistic, right? Everybody has 24 hours in a day. Of course, there are different life circumstances we need to acknowledge and all this, but like you're choosing, like you are in control of your body and of your time. Especially an entrepreneur, we have a bit more control over our time when we work full time for ourselves. At least we can decide, I'm putting my time here, I'm putting my time there, right? So we make the time. So it's just starting to take ownership of the time, instead of like letting have the power over you. Starting to say, today I'm going to make the time for this, this, and that, and I'm not going to make the time for this, this, and that. And that is just like a pattern, right? A pattern is like when you are creating that pattern of like, no, I will not put myself first, I'm going to put my business first. It's a culture that you're building within your company. And also this is the model that you're going to show to maybe your employees right now and your future employees. This is what they're going to then feel like they need to do as well. Like, do you really want to show up as like a business where the culture is like you need to put your whole self into it and lose yourself in your business? Or do you want to show others and lead in a way that is more kind and more balanced, where people do have a life and can, do you think that maybe that's going to be where I believe that this is going to be way more enticing work environment for people, right? So I created this little scale of like when of replenishment, of nourishment, and just acknowledge like when our cup is empty, like we're zero, right? Zero water is like burnout, can't work. You can't even like do anything in terms of work. 20% maybe you are like overwhelmed, you're losing control, like you're working like the bare minimum, you're just like trading water. Like 40% you're low in energy, you're depleted, you're getting some things done, but like you're not, like you're neglecting the time for yourself. When you're 5, like that's halfway, like it's neutral, like you're moving through the day, you're getting by with work, but you don't have really the energy or like the motivation to do anything else than that. It's just like, it's just work. like 60%, then it's going to be like you have like some health routines going on, you're feeling good, but if something comes and hit the fan, like you're plunging back into this lower number. Then like 80%, you're feeling great, and you're getting things done, you have more time for yourself and all this, and then 10 is like you're expansive, like your cup is full and it can start to like overflow, and you, that's the point where you're feeling energized, right? And let's be realistic, like we can't be at 100% all of the time, like nobody can, but like we want you to be able to like oscillate in the upper numbers above 50%, because the thing is that we're going to be able to do very different things when we're at those different levels. That like when we're in the low numbers, we're just gonna, you know, like you're in a hamster wheel, and you're just like getting the things done right on time all the time. Like you don't have the time and space to think about growing the business and like have the idea and the vision to get there. But once you're in the above 50%, then you can do this kind of thing. So one thing I'm going to ask you to journal on, we're not going to have the time right now, but it's to starting to identify like those burnout factors, the things that are taking water out of your own cup, starting with your basic needs, right? Like the food, sleep, movement. What do you do when you feel energized, and what do you do when you don't feel energized? What is taking out that energy? What is like missing in your life when that is like pulling out the water from your cup? And also looking at in terms of mental exhaustion and stressors, that can be things part of your business. Like for me, it was like definitely like the finance situation. That was like a big contribution of that stress. So identifying and separating the two categories of basic needs, and also like mentally what is stressing you out also in your business. And it's like we're building a house, right? It's like we're not even a house, we're building a building, because that's how big we want to go with our vision. That's how big we want to help people. Like we want to have a big impact. And every building starts with the foundation, like we said before, right? When you did your intros, like if the foundation is built on like the shitty, crumbly foundation, you can build something, it's just going to fall off. Like every time you're going to try to build, it's going to fall off, and again and again and again. So it's about like now putting like deep roots in creating those deep foundation. That's what we are going to go into the next part of this workshop. We are going to analyze what are the things that we can do, but also why we're having trouble to do these things that we know, like I'm sure you're already aware of the things that are grounding you, and what are the strong foundation, and what are the things that are keeping us from doing the things that we know would benefit us, and why like we're stuck in that cycle of like burnout and all this, and like create a bit more kindness and understanding as to why you're there. I think it's so important to acknowledge that and have that knowledge. It's so powerful to be able to move forward. So I want you to just say it to yourself. You are like all on mute, so you can just say it out loud, like I am always doing my best. Say it. I am always doing my best, because this is the reality. You are always doing your best. Up until now, you've been doing your best with the current knowledge, awareness, understanding that you have at any given point in your life, right? And if you haven't been able to solve a problem, it's because you're lacking some knowledge on how, like what you need to do and how to do it as well. And so I want you to be a curious explorer, continue to commit to that promise that we made at the beginning for this journey that is going to last a week together, and make the most out of it, of being curious and trying to practice that muscle of awareness, because it is a muscle, like just like anything, right? It's by practicing it, pressing those biceps of like noticing and catching yourself. Oh, like I am beating myself up. I'm being the perfectionist. I'm not a curious explorer right now. Just catching yourself, just like you've heard probably in meditation. It's not about judging yourself when you're like going into your thoughts. It's just about going back to, okay, the present moment and look with like just an objective lens, right? So thank you so much, everyone, for investing this time with all of us together today. I hope this was helpful, a good start of this workshop. And remember to share your biggest takeaway in the Instagram chat. There is no pressure in time, like you can write it tomorrow, you can write it after tomorrow, on Monday, whatever. The next call is on Tuesday. So as long as you do it before next call, that'll be good. And so that we can all like share from each other. There is so much we can learn about ourselves in other people's experience, because I'm sure that some of you are going to come up with some things that others would be like, oh, that's me too, but I have never thought about it in this way. So that's why I really invite you to share openly with everyone. It is a safe space altogether. Nobody is going to be judging you. Remember, you're the biggest critic, and we're working on this. You're your biggest critic. So thank you so much, everyone. And I'll see you in the chat in the meantime. Have a lovely rest of your day or evening. Bye-bye.